Hi guys, John, Common Sense Outdoors. I'm going to talk to you today about a hammock and shelter. I use this tarp on my elevated paracord bed, if you've seen that. And that one I should have used the trash bag or a piece of plastic, thin plastic, something smaller, because the paracord and tarp idea crosses over into a bug out bag, not a survival kit. Once you start putting things like a tarp and a hammock into a bag, it becomes too big to be a survival kit. It then becomes your bug out bag. So this would be more of a bug out bag scenario. I have 4 16-inch pieces of bank line. I put a loop in the end of each of them. I have my tarp, which is, I believe, supposed to be a 5x7. It's closer to a 4x6. When I fold it up and roll it, I keep these bungee cords around it. I'm going to use 2 of those in place of some cordage and the tarp and these 4 pieces of 16-inch bank line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set it up, and then I'll show you and talk you through what I've done, because it'll be easier that way. And just real quick, in case there's somebody that doesn't know, a tarp is directional. If you look on one side, you'll see the seam and a little flap where it's been sewn. That goes down. If you use a tarp and you put it with this up, there's a good chance it might leak. Make sure that seam is always down when you use a tarp. Okay, so I'm gonna see how fast I can throw this together, and then we'll talk about what I've done. Okay, now let's go talk about what I've done. All I did was take one piece of the 16-inch bank line on each corner, each grommet. You can see that grommet's been ripped out. It's just an old tarp I keep in my truck. Okay, and I've tied it to each side with a stick. Then I came back and propped in a stick on each side between those. Just hooked it into the cordage on each end. What is the advantage of how I just did that? Okay, now I did use the bungee cords up here. You could use cordage up here too, but you can see I've hooked into my main line that my hammock is hanging on. Now, most videos you've seen with a hammock, if you've seen multiple videos, everybody puts their tarp part on a separate line hooked to the tree. Well, that just takes up more cordage. By hooking into the same line, even if I was using cordage, that would have only been a little over 2 feet of cordage on each end of the top, and 16 inches on each corner. So that's 5.5 plus 6, that's 11.5 feet of cordage, plus your main rope for your hammock support. Now, if I wasn't to do it this way, I would have to have cordage coming from each corner all the way down to the ground. So I would be looking at 4 to 5 feet per corner. By doing this, I really save cordage, and in a survival situation or a bug out situation, using your cordage smartly and conserving cordage is a huge consideration you need to make. Now I could have tied off the tarp to those sticks in the middle, but I really don't need to. So actually put you in here a little closer and we'll try it out. What are you doing out there? Come on in. So the other advantage of doing this is it's on my hammock support ropes. So if my hammock sways, my roof is going to sway with me. Plus I can, if I had some good trees to climb up in and I wanted to be off the ground, away from predators or whatnot, I could use this setup without having to have cord to go to branches or whatever. Like I said, I'm like 11 or 12 feet of cordage plus your main lines for your hammock. Not that much cordage at all, and if the wind blows a little bit, no big deal. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. More videos coming to you soon.